The industry leader with over 30 years of experience in providing home health care services such as skilled nursing, physical and occupational therapy, home health aides, and other specialized care to your homes throughout the state. Please tune in every other week as we bring you a range of good information from specialists in the field to help make you more informed and living healthy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Hometown Health Show. I am Yolanda Santana, the host of the show, and I'm also, my company is All Bits Tech, an IT consulting company. Today, we have the pleasure of having a special guest, Nikki June, administrator at Inspire Healthcare Plantation, as well as Joanne Alvarez. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, and thank you to our sponsor, Trilogy Home Health. We have Stephanie Hudson from Trilogy representing.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, please tell us about yourself.
Hello, hi, my name is Nikki. I'm the executive director at Inspire Plantation. We're here to service local physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. The facility, we now are a new company, Inspire. We are so pleased and so proud to be able to say that we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Inspire's 1-year anniversary is September 19th. We are hosting a party and event. We'd love the community to come out, to come and tour the facility and see the type of services that we have to offer.
Give me that date one more time.
September 25th, this Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Yes, we're having a 6:30 brunch, and then we're having a 2:30 lunch sit down, so that the residents, staff, everyone's all included.
Okay,
Nice.
Good to know. All right. So, Nikki, I know that you guys have grown rather quickly. You guys are in 5 locations, right?
Yes. The great thing about that is, even though, yes, 5 locations with the growth, our president, Miriam Pastor, the vice president of clinical services, Ms. Jackie Eiley, is marketing director, and the financial, everyone that's within our team, they're not just, okay, they're regional and you never see these people. They tour the facility quite often. The president is in the facility quite often, doing on-site inspections, making sure that the facility looks good, the residents are happy, what's going on with them. Any concerns or any complaints, whenever you do call a hotline number, you're not just talking to a radio. You actually are sending the complaints or concerns over to the president. She then directs it over to me so that we make sure that we have that resident, we give the answers, we find out, investigate what transpired. With Miriam Pastor having such experience in healthcare, as well as Ms. Jackie with the clinical aspect, all of that entails making sure that we as a team, we have a support system that has done this. They've been on the ground floor. They know exactly what type of care and services that they need us to provide.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yes.
So let me go back and let our listeners and viewers know a little bit about Trilogy Home Health. Stephanie, if you could tell them what it is you do and why you bring guests like Nikki's company onto the show.
Okay, thank you. So Trilogy is a Medicare certified home health agency. We provide services such as skilled nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, respiratory. We have social workers and even dietitians. And so we work alongside facilities like Inspire to help with a safe transition home for their patients once they're finished with their rehab. We work together with the social workers, the nurses, the physician, and see what the needs are. And we provide help in the home, and it's paid for through Medicare.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so Nikki, let our listeners know a little bit more about your role at Inspire, as well as the mission of the company.
With our mission is definitely to inspire a culture that transforms the way healthcare is delivered, one patient experience at a time. With that, every morning we have clinical rounding, we have mock survey rounds. I myself and department heads, we have assigned rooms where we go in every single morning, find out what's going on with the resident. Is the television working? Or what's the projects that we have that are going on? How can we help you? Did you like your dinner last night? Was there something with lunch? Just having an open dialogue with the resident, the family member, so that every day we're able to follow up and making sure that the clinical help and the customer service is there. one-on-one personally, and making sure that even you can go onto our Google website, you're able to see reviews that family members and residents have left. Even though you're there for 3 weeks, you are a family, and we want to make sure that you get the type of services that you deserve.
Okay, all right. So, what is skilled nursing, a skilled nursing facility, and the different types of rehab facilities? Just so people understand.
With skilled services, just like Trilogy mentioned, it's all a big circle. Once you're in the hospital, a lot of times you're just confused. So many people have come in and out, you're not really sure what transpired. When you do transition into a skilled nursing facility where you're there for the rehab services, that allows you to get rehabilitated to go back out into the community to make sure that home health is there to continue on with the care. As we all know, there's a big push on making sure that residents are not using the hospital as an emergency service. You're at a skilled rehab facility, we push on return to hospitals. Like every single day we have a meeting with the clinical team to make sure what could we have done. We have a team of doctors, our medical director, physicians that are doing roundings every day. We have wound care specialists, pulmonology, cardiology, just a large team to make sure that you go back home and you do not return to the hospital. Continuing to make sure that we partner up with home health services to make sure that all that's done.
My goodness, that sounds like a giant team.
Definitely.
And that's great that you work with Trilogy because people can also use their Medicare to assist with that. So,
yes.
All right. What is memory care, and why and when should someone place a loved one in memory care?
For us, we do have Alzheimer's and dementia residents. We are not a locked unit, but we do provide 30-minute rounding to make sure that there's always a staff member that's sitting there with the resident, even though we do not have a locked unit. But our sister facility, Inspire of Lauderhill, is a locked unit where it's not that you can't, it just minimizes you actually being able, the resident, if they're demented enough to where they're not able to just physically just leave the building like that. Even though we do have patients that do have Alzheimer's and dementia, the way that we scale it around, they're not going out into the road or anything of that sort.
How do you assess that? I mean, I have a grandmother has dementia, and she's outside still very often, and she doesn't wander off that we know of, not yet. How do you assess when it's time to move them into a locked facility?
With the care that we provide, making sure that we know the roundings, every single person knows that resident. Like you said, your grandmother is high functioning, even though she does have that diagnosis, it doesn't mean that she's going to be wandering out in the streets. That allows us that every day we know what level that resident would be at. Even though you are wandering, it doesn't mean that, like you said, like your grandmother, that doesn't mean that you'd need to be into a facility that would be like that. So it really takes, we don't like it to transition into that, but we do as best as we can to make sure that that person stays in the type of setting that we have, because we do have residents that do have that diagnosis at our facility.
Okay. So what other specialty programs, other than the Alzheimer's program, dementia program that you mentioned, do you have that you offer?
7 days a week, wound care therapy services. We have a wound care physician that comes down into the facility, does rounds outside of our wound care specialists. Cardiology, infectious disease, pulmonary. We have a respiratory therapist, CPAP machines, BiPAP machines, just like a slew of orthopedics. We have a different type of orthopedic machines to make sure that once the person does have any ortho surgeries, that they're keeping in movement, making sure that the body keeps functioning and that their body does not reject the new replacement.
Okay. So who pays for the services offered by Inspire Healthcare?
With that, just like Trilogy said, we do have Medicare. We also accept AvMed, Aetna and Coventry, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Preferred Care Partners, Medica, Positive Health Partners, United Healthcare, HealthSun, WellCare, WellMed, Workers' Comp, Simply, Better Health, Clear Health, VA, Devoted, Care Plus. You name it, we have it. If we don't have that in our facility, there's one of our sister facilities that does take it. And we also make sure that the family, again, the dynamic of making sure that everyone's a part of this, so that authorizations we're getting as quickly as possible, transitioning them into the facility, and also Medicaid as well.
Okay, all right. So, what sets Inspire Healthcare apart from other rehab communities?
With that, I'd like to say, especially the group dynamic, the clinical team dynamic, making sure that no one returns to the hospital and minimizing that from transpiring. And having those, the president, vice president, all of them being a part of making sure every day we're rounding, just keeping up on top of everything with the residents.
Okay, okay. What would you attribute to such fast growth as far as 5 locations, right? What are you, actually, let's go back. What are your 5 locations?
The 5 locations, the first one is Inspire Kendall. That's located at 9400 Southwest 137th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33186. Their phone number is 305-385-8290. The executive director there is Lazaro Laz. Second one is Inspire Lauderhill, 2599 Northwest 55th Avenue, Lauderhill, Florida. Phone number is 954-485-8873. The executive director there is Rita.
And they can find all this on the website, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
We have Miami Lakes and Tamarack as well.
All right. And tell me, you also offer this in other languages, right? You offer
Yes.
services. What other
Yes.
languages do you?
Creole, nous parlons Creole. Nous avons toute famille and staff qui parle Creole, and we also have Spanish bilingual services.
Joanne, would you like to speak a little bit as to the Spanish services you offer?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for inviting me first. Para toda la comunidad que nos escuche, que nos estén viendo, nuestros servicios es para toda la gente que necesita rehabilitación. Si usted sabe de algún familiar o de alguien que está en el hospital en este momento que necesite rehabilitación, con mucho gusto nos puede conseguir en el website, en el Inspire healthcare.com, o nos puede dar una llamada al teléfono 954-583-6200.
Perfecto. Okay. So, with that, and I believe it's Inspire, NSPIRE, healthcare.com.
Yes.
And to make sure.
Yes. As you see, our cell phone numbers are on our cards because we want to make sure that residents and staff, that they have access to us 24 hours, family members.
Okay, perfect.
That's great.
So how do you all work together? Can you take me through how maybe a situation or example that you would work with Trilogy?
With Trilogy, we'd let them know that we have a resident. Well, upon admission, discharge planning starts. So upon admission, you know whether or not the resident lives home alone, if they have family, if they've already been, what type of medical equipment they need, and what area are they needing the services. You'd ask them if they've had a home health care before, what did they not like, what did they like. So you kind of specialize the focus on what's best for that resident of home health options. And then through there, you communicate with other home health companies that are in the area of where the resident lives at, and then offer them and let them come in and visit with the resident, and the resident would make their choice.
Okay, that's perfect. All right. And they would be allowed, they have the freedom to choose any.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's why we give them assume whoever they like, and they let us know they like.
Okay. All right. So on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You are watching and listening your Hometown Health Show. I'm Yolanda Santana. We'll be right back.
We're half over.
Trilogy was established in 2016 by industry experts with over 30 years in home health care operations spanning 30-plus counties throughout the state of Florida. With offices in Jacksonville, Port St. Lucie, West Palm Beach, we strive to provide the most optimal care to our patients in a fun, forward-thinking environment. Our focus is on personal relationships, whether with an employee, a patient, or an outside community. Because we know that when people enjoy what they do, it becomes why they do it. Call Trilogy today at 954-689-6660 and ask for more information. In addition to offering the standard mix of services, SN, PT, OT, speech, MSW, and HHA, we also take great pride in being on the cutting edge and offering care and education to our licensed clinicians in other areas most agencies likely don't offer. Emotional and behavioral health with our psych nursing, biofeedback for bladder incontinence and pelvic pain, chemotherapy, IV hydration, antibiotic and respiratory therapy. Call today at 954-689-6660. Trilogy Home Care. You have been listening to the Trilogy Home Health Show, and if you wish to be a guest on our show, please call us at 561-670-9213 and let us share your knowledge and information with our listeners. Trilogy Home Health Care Show enjoys serving the community and bringing doctors and facilities of interest to help educate and inform the community. Please call us at 561-670-9213 and let us put you on the airwaves with the Trilogy Home Health Show.
Good evening, everyone, and we are back. You are listening and watching your Hometown Health Show. I'm Yolanda Santana, and our special guest this evening is Inspire Healthcare. We have Nikki June, Executive Director of Inspire Healthcare, and Joanne J. Alvarez, Admissions Director, right? But I have here also Multi-Facility Care Liaison. What does that mean?
That means I cover the other centers. So when I'm running at the hospitals and I need to see evaluate other patients for the other sister facilities, I do so.
All right. And we also have Stephanie Hudson from Trilogy Home Health. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So we were talking a little bit about the different scenarios, how you work with Trilogy, and how residents choose. What does a person need to do that feels they need services like Trilogy? I'm assuming they would probably reach out to someone they work with directly, right?
Oh, the social worker
Right.
upon admission, we know.
And so let's talk a little bit more about how you got involved in healthcare.
My father had a stroke. I think I was younger. And then from there, it's just to see the confusion, especially like my father's Haitian. His first language is not English. So having that background to be able to go through to going to his primary care physician, something as simple as management of diabetes, writing down the numbers on the log, and then when you follow up with the primary, then that would change whether or not they put you on a different type of medication or insulin or whatever. To see that confusion just with him, it then allowed me to just want to be involved in other people's health care.
That's amazing. That's really good. It's so important, especially down here. I think a lot of the facilities have so much Creole. I don't know if it's mandatory, but you see it almost everywhere where it's Creole or Spanish, among other languages. But usually those are the main ones.
Especially imagining that that's your grandmother, your grandfather. And speaking to the residents, they have quite amazing stories. We have some residents that have had quite amazing careers. And to see them, you want to make sure that you uphold that dignity.
Right.
I do not just speak to your family and I'm just staring directly at you. No, I speak to you, making sure that the family understands you are the care, like you're the core. That's why we're here.
Right. That's amazing. Okay. Joanne, you want to tell us a little bit about what got you into healthcare?
Well, my grandmother lived with us throughout all her life. And as she declined, it was harder to go to, from hospitals to skilled nursing and not knowing what to do or what to expect, until the time that she passed. It just got me really more closer to the elderly because there's still people out there that when it comes down to the loved one being, declining or being at the hospital, or maybe they can't take care of themselves at home, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. So I wanted to be the face of the facility that gives them that information, that tells them that it's going to be okay, and these are the steps that you need to do so we can, take care of mom, dad, sister, whoever may be, that your loved one that needs help.
Right.
I think it means a lot to the families and the patients when we can sympathize with them because we've been on that side of it too.
Definitely.
And I have as well with family members of mine. So you can be very understanding and compassionate to what they're going through.
It helps.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what brought you to Inspire?
By the name Inspire.
Right.
What's not to love? And to walk into the buildings just to feel the love the caring and the compassion walking through. And a lot of, you'd see some housekeeping, everyone's just involved in it. So what's not to love?
It's good energy. Okay.
Definitely.
That's good. Did you want to talk a little bit further about some of the services that you offer you may not have touched on?
Yes, making sure that we do understand as far as skilled rehab is setting. Normally, depending on the insurance and the authorization, the resident could be there up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they transition back home. Whereas with the long-termers, that is their home. But they do continue getting therapy services if they need it, or if there's a change. We're always analyzing to see if there's a change in condition. A certified nursing assistant, she can see, hey, mom isn't eating the way that she used to eat. She's not picking up the spoon the way that she used to pick it up. Or if we happen to know a resident that's wheeling down the hallway, he just seems a little bit more forgetful than before, and as well, especially the short-termers. They're there for a short period of time, but you want to make sure that when we go inside the rooms, when we're doing those mock survey room rounds in the morning, how's the oxygen, making sure that it's bagged, infection control. It's a cohesive amount of every day-to-day that we're making sure that everyone is well cared for.
Okay. Did you want to add anything to that, Joanne?
As far as for the long-termers, well, our facility has our long-term and short-term. We're a 120-bed facility for the Inspire Plantation facility I'm talking about. So we use 60 of those rooms mostly for our long-termers, and 60 of the other rooms are for short-term rehabilitation, like Nikki said. For about 2 weeks, you give them aggressive therapy, and we want to see them going home safely.
Okay. What about is there any modalities or any new technologies that you want to touch upon that you guys are using that sets you apart from other facilities?
We have the PTAC units, Dopplers, just different equipments that we're using. We have the Wii so that they're able to, a lot of people nowadays, we're all like on our phones or our iPads. So the Wii, working out with the Wii. A lot of times we have the family members come into the therapy, the short-termers to come into, everyone, coming into the therapy room so that they're able to see how mom is transferring. We have therapy outside of the facility. We have like these steps that they can actually walk through the steps if they have any stairs at home, or if they need to transfer into the car. Hey, this is how you do it in an actual car with your actual family member, so that they understand with the therapist that's licensed there, this is what we're doing. This is the new way that we're going to be caring for mom.
Okay. So what is next for Inspire? I know that you have your grand opening this Wednesday, right?
The 1 year anniversary.
The 1 year anniversary this Wednesday. It's just like, you guys have only been around a year. You already have, okay. So, so you have that this Wednesday. What is next for Inspire?
Continued growth, continue pushing ourselves out in the community. We have a slew of events, as you know. Halloween's around the corner, Christmas, Thanksgiving, a lot of giving back. Just making sure that the community understands that we're here for them.
Okay. Are you guys going to be moving into Palm Beach?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But honing into our care.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because that's something that, you can have a large corporation, but what's the type of care that you're providing?
Okay. Stephanie, did you want to add anything as far as Trilogy and how you work with Inspire and your experience with Inspire?
So actually, I was just there earlier today. We have a patient who is going back home, hopefully tomorrow. And so I was working with the social worker today just to talk about what the needs are and get everything in order before he goes home to make sure that it's safe. And I also met with the family and make sure that they feel supported, because it can be, when you haven't gone through this before, it can be kind of a scary thing. You're bringing your loved one home and you don't know what to expect and how they're going to feel and act, and especially with the different diagnoses. So I just kind of reassured her that I'm here to help, and she has my cell phone number and she can contact me at any time. And then I called her later in the day with an update, so just to reassure her, because it's so important to support the family who is the caregiver, because it can be very, very stressful.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Let's let people know how they can reach you one more time.
The facility, you can call Inspire Plantation. Our phone number is 954-583-6200. You can always call me or text me on my cell phone, which is 954-465-4450. You can contact Joanne Alvarez.
My phone number is 352-617-5519.
And in Creole?
Téléphone moi is 954-583-6200.
In Spanish?
Y en español, 954-583-6200.
And one more time, that party that you're having this Wednesday,
This Wednesday, 6:30 a.m., we're having breakfast, the first portion. 2:30 until 3:30, we're also giving away prizes. We want to make sure that the staff understands we really, really appreciate them. Our Google reviews, there's been plenty of family members that have left, specific CNAs and nursing staff and therapy staff. It's quite amazing that you spent 3 weeks with us and you actually remember that certified nursing assistant that made you feel so loved and made you feel just a very warm embrace. And we want to thank the staff and making sure that the community understands this is our face. Come out and tour any day.
Perfect. Okay. So again, it's inspirehealthcare.com. Plantation. Say someone is in Miami, would they be able to just go to the Kendall facility?
Oh yes, Kendall also has an assisted living facility connected into their building.
Oh wow.
There's also Miami Lakes. We're all like within a nice parameter of each other.
Okay. Yeah, so you have the Plantation, Miami Lakes, Kendall.
Yes. And
Lauderhill.
Lauderhill. And also Inspire Tamarack, they have an in-house dialysis unit inside of the facility.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in-house dialysis.
That's great.
That's
Very
fantastic.
good.
Okay. So everyone, again, one more time, you've been listening to your Hometown Health Show. I am Yolanda Santana. Our special guest was Inspire Healthcare, Nikki June, and Joanne Alvarez, as well as Stephanie Hudson from Trilogy. I want to thank our guests this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
been
so much.
such
for
a
having us.
pleasure. And have a great evening.